get into that game pretty soon here. For a second, I was worried we were going to a sudden break that I didn't know about.
No surprise breaks over here this time. Not for the challenger. As we said before, it is Cactus Valley. Another very gigantic map here. Heart looking a bit down. You know, shoulders forward, head down. He's got that hat on. We can barely see his face. Yep. Whereas Rogue looking very confident, very calm here, and ready to go into the game. Let's do it right now, guys. Game number 3 on Cactus Valley. Up here in the top left, in the blue, our Zerg player who's doing quite well tonight. It is Rogue, currently up 2-0.
To the bottom right in red. For Axiom, it's Heart. Unfortunately for him, we'll get the worst spawning location possible for this matchup on the map. Unless you're like Maru or something and you're just basically perfect and it just doesn't matter.
Maru would welcome this with open arms, with arms wide open.
He'd still probably proxy in the middle of the map too every now and then, like on the watchtower. His SCV that's building the barracks like occasionally takes the watchtower as it's moving around.
He's definitely done that before and still won the game even after getting scouted. Maru's a funny player like that. He can just make games go in his favor. Looks like it's going to be another CC first here from Heart.
Yeah. This makes sense. Heart, on this map, really wants to try to level the playing field as much as possible, knowing that Rogue will easily get away with a hatch first. Even if he 2-barracks proxied, he probably would get away with it, so he might as well skip the Reaper harass. Even a Reaper, like, in the case of the player goes double hatch before pool, which has happened before and could happen in this very game, you get a Reaper out. By the time you get there, you might not get anything done. If it's cross spawn especially, you're going to get very little done.
Yeah.
So,
because even if you win Reaper first, you're not going to scout cross spawns first, right? You're going to go all the way up to the top right, and then you're going to go all the way to the left. And by that time, like you said, there should be some kind of defense there.
Yeah, and say you go top right, and you're like, oh god, he's not there. And you go to top left, and he's not there either. You're like, well, I'm really out of luck here. I went for this Reaper that's going to get nothing done when I could have had a free double orbital with a quick gas, as we see here, which is exactly the most optimal build any Terran player who wants to play for a greedy economic style build would go for. And we'll see if this pays off for him in the end. You know, it's funny because there are builds you could engineer in order to win on this map almost like unconditionally. Like if you build like 3 barracks in the middle of the map or something like that, and someone goes double hatch for a pull, doesn't matter how late you scout them, you probably kill them. But it's just like this sort of thing is crazy. We never see anybody do that because it's too high risk. But there are ways that he could all in here. We have seen players do it on this map already. It's just that for Heart, he's going to have to, unfortunately, by the nature of that Star League box, that mystery box, the RNG box. He gets this map. He doesn't get to play on Echo. He doesn't get to play on Vonnie. Obviously, Rogue, banned out Coda early on, so he doesn't have to play it. He doesn't get to play that map either, and it's just against Heart's style in this pool already. So really, really unfortunate. Sort of luck of the draw there.
You really got to hand it to Heart. You know, like you said, kind of getting forced into this kind of style. But you got to hand it to him that he's at least trying his best. Like, he's really going at Rogue. He wants to go to this later game. He's not, even Deadwing, it's technically a 3-player map. He could have gone for that proxy. Maybe Rogue doesn't go for that super safe scout that he did do on that map, and maybe he gets away with it, but just not really going to work out in his favor just yet.
Yeah, and it's just simply that he's been in the first game he got Nidus, which is even if he had scouted it nice at the front, could have killed him potentially. He didn't have a tank out. He wasn't prepared for this type of build. It would have been a bit late for him to get ready for that. Could have maybe held it. Game 2, 2-base Muta, an unpopular strategy currently, but we do see it mixed in every now and then. The players like Leenock really liking to use that style. We saw Biel use it in the Pro League Round 2 finals versus Maru, for example. Does get mixed in every now and then. So it's Hart that doesn't get to play 2 straight-up games. I mean, we saw his macro was decently solid in Game 2. He had a huge supply lead. He just couldn't do anything with his army. And, I mean, we're going to this game now. There's not a ton to talk about as gases are being slowly taken. We see Stim on the way. We're seeing these Hellions start to come out. They're going to come pressure. It's a normal build-up here. The only thing that's missing so far is that 3rd CC. Which we may see in just a moment. He's committing a little bit faster to this aggression, though.
Yeah, I'm very curious about Hart's build, in fact. With the double gas and the way he was making that tech lab very close to the starport, I thought it would be Banshees, but it seems like it's going to be more of a drop and a very fast stim, in fact. So.
Very fast stim.
Yeah. I think this is where Hart is like, okay, I actually can't play Rogue in a straight-up game. Maybe I do just have to kill this guy.
It's going to be so tough at these positions to hit a very strong bio attack, even with Hellions. And we know it's not going to be Hellbats, obviously. These Hellion drops are really interesting because they very rarely work at the highest level in this matchup because Queens are so good at repelling them. I mean, even in the old days, before Queens got their range buff in, like, 2013 or whenever that was, maybe even late 2012, like, it was so hard to make these drops work. And, we're just going to see a Baneling attack here. Did not expect this.
Yeah, Rogue's not even going to let this guy stay in this game for too long. Staying very, very low on the drones, of course, 36, very early Baneling nest. We were thinking what kind of build Hart was going for, but...
He sees a bunch of Lings. That might tip him off a little bit, but that's going to be a bit too late. Like, he's thinking that those Lings are the only one he's dealing with. He's wrong. He raises the depot, but there are Banelings coming in. He's going to be focused on these Hellions when the Banelings hit his base. Drones do get pulled here. He has to lift up. He's panicking. Now he sees these Banelings.
He's got a ton of Hellions, but he really needs that micro. Just as you said, the Lings coming forward first. Trying to get that surround to let the Banelings hit into them. Okay. And so far, really good micro here, actually, from Hart.
Yeah, good rotations on those Hellions that are low on health to the back. Trying to pull his SCVs away now.
Oh, man, Hart can't let these Banelings hit his SCVs.
Oh, he turns right into them. But one Baneling hit is not enough, and he's got a medevac here to help heal. And if he can just clear up these Lings.
Oh, man. One extra
no, he can't. Oh! That one Ling will kill all the rest of those SCVs. Well, maybe one survives because the Hellions push him away. Now he can focus on this drop again. His multitasking failing him a bit here, obviously, as he was insanely focused on that attack. Hellbats are ready.
Yeah, but it's only 3 and a ton of Lings coming in here already. He's making a RO.24 as well. He will have the necessary tools to defend against what Hart is doing in the main base. Eventually, at least.
You know, I like Hart's position in this game a lot. He still has Hellbats in here doing a little bit of damage, forcing loss of mining time. He has a 3rd CC. He has 3 orbitals in just a moment. Once that 3rd orbital actually finishes, he's going to have double E-Bays behind this. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose any more units to harassment like this. If he can just get a wall up and stabilize here for a minute. This is not good. He should not be allowed these Lings to get into the base, and he does. And I might have to just rethink my statement saying I like his position. He's going to lose a lot more SCVs here.
Yep. Just trying to fight straight up here. One Marine helping out with this, and he is losing so many more of his SCVs just while he's trying to focus on these drops here in the natural. He's taking way, way too much damage right now.
The thing is, he had, you know, let's talk about the situation here. He's probably going to GG out and interrupt me, but like in a situation like this, if you have a wall, if you can hold onto your base and you have 3 orbitals, if you only have 4 Marines, 5 Marines up there, it's okay because they're behind a wall. So it's like you have more power than what those Marines would give you in a straight-up fight. You use the buildings against the Zerg, but if you allow the Zerg to get into your base, then the Lings will just straight-up kill every Marine you have, and then you're going to be fighting with rallied units, which is never going to be enough against this onslaught of the Zerg. He's trying to set up a pretty janky wall in here. It's just not going to happen. Roach is coming in. This game is essentially over.
I like the description there, Wolf. Very, very janky here. And now Banelings, Lings, and Roaches all in the main base. There's just not enough stuff here to defend. GG. Roach takes a very quick 3-0 over Hart. Kind of what we were expecting, but not really giving Hart the time of day. Just going with these very aggressive builds, trying to push them out as fast as possible.
This is why we have challengers. As I said before, some players are not fit for Star League. But the key there is if he has a wall, he can try to hold that off and recover with 3 orbitals and the infrastructure he's got. You know, medevacs, he's got medevacs out. He has stim. He has, you know, a decent SCV count because actually more than SCVs, he lost units in that engagement. And he can replenish those. Rogue doesn't have a ton of drones. But if he just dies, then he just dies. So, I mean, a wall would have been nice. A wall, even at just the top of his secondary ramp, would have been great.
Something I felt like was missing from Heart's play as well was lack of like very, I don't know, very specific scouting. He wasn't able to see the Nidus in the first game. He didn't notice, like he didn't take a look at drone counts. He was never able to get a good idea. No scans were used. He was kind of just going with the flow. Got cheesed out. Third game as well. You know, not the best situation. They're just not able to see the all-in coming, so there you go. But guys, we're going to have a 3-minute break. When we come back, we got our next set.